Welcome back to ESBR Boxing's YouTube channel. Delighted, as always, to be joined by Casper. Casper, we are here to talk about Chris Billam-Smith versus Mateusz Masternak on Sunday in Bournemouth in the UK. Thanks, as always, for joining me. It feels like we're speaking more and more these days, and hope to do more videos with you in 2024. First question is, Mateusz Masternak, we know quite well, fairly well in this country. He's fought some top competitors. He fought Tony Bellew a few years ago now, but that was a very close fight. In a nutshell, what could you tell us about this guy for those who aren't that well informed?
Well, his career is one of the weirdest in all boxing. He won his first big fight, and it was 2009. He boxed an undefeated opponent, Łukasz Janik. From that it was one crazy. From that moment, it was one hell of a crazy ride, which never ended at the top level. I can't believe that he never boxed for a world title. That's really absurd, because I think that he is a top 10 fighter for many years. So after winning that fight, he left Poland and he fought on the road. And there were some controversial fights. I mean, one that really stands out is his fight with Johnny Miller. He went to South Africa to fight a guy who was basically a light heavyweight who was coming up in weight. And Masternak dominated Miller. He sent him down twice. He won decisively, but the result did not reflect that. He lost a controversial split decision. That decision screamed robbery, screamed corruption, but nothing really happened about that. But there was always something lacking. He lacked promoters' backing. That was especially the case. He was then with Sauerland promotion, and he had some opportunities, but it was all there were all tough fights where he was never the A side. And his record reflects that, really. He lost with Kalenga, which was another one close fight, and it was prime Kalenga, and it was really close fight in which the Polish referee basically got one card for Kalenga, which decided the result. But it was a fair result. It was a close fight which could have gone in either way. Then there was the only time he lost decisively. It was against Drost, and it was a fight that happened in Moscow. They fought before Vladimir Klitschko and Povetkin. And well, now we know that Drost was probably on all those substances that later became illegal, and it was a close fight up to this moment. Then there was the fight with Tony Bellew, as you mentioned. It was again a very close fight, and it was really the last round that decided the result. Because before that last round, it was the fight was up to grabs. But Bellew dominated the last round. He was close. He came close actually to win that fight inside the distance, and he got the decision. And now for the last few years, Masternak fought mainly in Poland. Oh, there was one more case. It was a fight with Dorticos. And it was a great fight. It was again a great fight with Dorticos, who was a top player back in the days. It was World Boxing Super Series second edition, and again Masternak lost a close competitive fight. And from that moment, he rebuilt himself in Poland. He won a couple of fights. He beat some undefeated opponents. One of them was Adam Balski, another solid Polish fighter. You saw him in Britain as well. And then there was his last fight with Watley, undefeated, solid guy, and Masternak boxed circles around him. And it was that fight that that meant that he is now the mandatory challenger.
Fantastic. No, thanks, Casper. I think if people didn't know who Masternak was, I think they would definitely know who he is now. Thank you for going into so much detail there. 36 years old now, 52 fights. Do you think he has much left?
Well, not really, and he knows it. That's the point. I mean, it was all a gamble from Masternak's promoter, really. That situation that we have with Chris Billam-Smith, his promoter Andrew Wasilewski. He made some business with Boxer before, and in a way, he offered them his mandatory challenger status that Masternak earned by beating Watley. So Riakporhe was supposed to take that position and fight Jay Opetaia, but we know that this fight fell through for whatever reason. And there were some concerns in Poland that after that situation, the Masternak's fight for world title might not materialize. And he is really, as you say, this is his probably last chance. But the Brits kept their promise, and we now have this fight, and we know that there is a queue to fight Billam-Smith. There is Okolie, there is Riakporhe, so many things may happen. And Masternak knows that this is his probably last dance. This is his first title shot, and probably last one. And I think that he will take this all that knowledge into the ring.
Interesting. Very interesting. Look, I'm lucky enough to be there on Sunday. I'm traveling down to Bournemouth soon, and looking forward to it. The atmosphere will be very good, as always is in Bournemouth, and we'll see what happens. What are your thoughts on Chris Billam-Smith as a fighter, Casper? I mean, it wasn't the best fight you'll ever see. That went against Okolie back in May. He's fought Riakporhe in the past, and that's his only defeat. What are your thoughts on him as a fighter? How good is Billam-Smith?
I think he's very solid. He's a sort of I would say him a late bloomer in boxing, but he's getting better. He's not that much younger than Masternak, but if we look at it at boxing age, then there is much difference, I'd say. There is a gap especially in experience, and that might be one of the key aspects of this matchup. I really like Billam-Smith. I think he was probably never in like a boring fight. Even that fight with Okolie, there were many things happening in the ring, and he boxed really well. But well, I think Masternak matches really well in this fight. He's probably a better boxer. He's more versatile, more fluid, like I said, more experienced. And the only thing that I'm really thinking about is ring rust. And yeah, that might be a factor, but I believe that Masternak knows his body like no one else. He had really solid sparring sessions before this fight. Jack Massey was one of the guys that came to Poland to spar with him. So yeah, I believe that may not be the decisive case, and really, it's now or never for Masternak. We had a saying in Poland that we were waiting for era Mastera, which is like Masternak's era, and that's probably it never really began, but it may just start on Sunday, and it's really the last chance to start it.
Brilliant. No, I appreciate the insight, Casper, and I think this fight with December 23rd, the big card in Saudi round the corner, this card's gone a little bit under the radar, in my opinion, which it shouldn't do. It's Masternak is a known fighter in the UK. This is a world title fight. The winner of this fight could have a unification fight next year. Could be in another big fight. And then against a Brit possibly. Before we end, as always, keen to get your official prediction for this fight. For those that are unaware, this video is being recorded on Wednesday evening. Obviously, final predictions change. We accept that. The weigh-in's obviously on Saturday, the fight's on Sunday. But on Wednesday evening, Casper, what's your prediction? What do you think is going to happen in Bournemouth on Sunday?
I think the fight will go the full distance, and I expect that this fight is going to be extremely close, extremely competitive. And I really hope that Masternak will do just enough to nick it on the judges' scorecard. I think that the result may be controversial a bit, but there is a split decision written all over it. But I hope that Masternak will be on the winning end of it.
No, look, fantastic. look, as always, we hope we see educated scorecards. Well, I mean, me personally, I rarely care who wins. You just want to see the correct person win.
Yeah.
And it's hard to celebrate a victory when nobody thinks you won, basically. So we'll see. Casper, appreciate your time as always. Chris Billam-Smith versus Mateusz Masternak, Sunday the 10th of December in Bournemouth. We will see what happens. Casper, I will speak to you again soon. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you very much.